Our collection of myths, mysteries, and the paranormal is growing at the speed of light. However, nothing in this mound of mystics is good enough to present to our Ash on her birthday. After careful digging, we have determined exactly what she'd like us to add to the inventory next. It wasn't easy to find, and we had to hire the assistance of Deadpool himself to find it. He has helped us pin the creature on our map, and we are headed there now. Join us as we abduct and plop a bow on Ash's present El Chupacabra.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? We are back again. Episode 5? 6?
I love 5. It's my favorite number.
My favorite episode is 5. Or number. Oh my god, we are off to a great start today. It is my birthday episode. There's a motorcycle in the background.
Always in this time. I literally was planning to be like, cue motorcycle, and it just happened. Oh my god.
I love how we were sitting here for like an hour silence, and the second that we start to record, the motorcycle's like, hey guys.
Always.
Literally.
Well, happy
every single
birthday.
time. Thank you. It's not my birthday yet, but at the time that we will release this episode, it'll be my birthday. Yeah. I'm so excited.
I wonder what future self is going to be feeling at this point.
Probably scared, existential, and a little bit tipsy.
Well, thank goodness.
I don't know. It's crazy to think that I got to Japan at 22, and now I'm going to turn 24, and we're still in the same boat. And...
I'm feeling that. I got 3 birthdays here, and I'm sitting here like, yee!
Yeah, it's a lot. It's
screaming
definitely
inside.
Not what I planned, but honestly, I'm not mad about it. It could be worse,
It could be worse.
And, we wouldn't have started this podcast if we weren't all stuck here.
Amen.
So, here we are. It is me, Ash, obviously.
And I'm Cory, and this is Crop Circles.
Crop Circles podcast, where every week we take on a myth, mystery, or paranormal story, abduct it, dissect it, just get to know it, know the insides, the outsides.
Smell it a little bit.
Smell it. Taste it.
it.
Give it a little...
You listen to it. Just like get a little bit of the blued and put it in your ear and just listen nice and close.
Put it in your favorite ear. But yeah.
Which one's your favorite ear?
Probably my right one.
Are you like right-eared? Because you could be like you're not like just like right-handed.
Oh, like when you like what ear do you put your AirPod in when you only have one on? That's the real question.
I can't afford AirPods.
Oh. I got mine as a gift like 3 years ago. They've been through the wash already, the wash and the dryer, so they
survived.
They survived.
Yo!
Actually, I just did that recently, and it was a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, which one? Like, if you had to put one earbud in,
I would put it in my left so I could listen better with my right.
Right. I always have mine in my right.
And I would just like position everyone on my right.
Yeah, I do the opposite. I have it in my right, and I always listen with my left. I don't know. It's just preference, I guess.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I always try to have them both in when I walk into work, though.
So no one bothers you.
I'm just like, Ohio.
Bye.
Name on the board. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I go in that office and I'm like, I'm downstairs now.
With a purpose. Goodbye. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't usually have my AirPods in walking into work. I'm scared that someone's going to say something and I'm just going to be like totally not there. Usually not even there like without my AirPods on. So you could imagine the amount of like ignoring that I do when I do have them on. Like it's just the outside world doesn't exist.
It's weird. I walk into that front building and I say hello to every single person as I'm walking up the stairs. I get into that office area. I sanitize my hands and I just go, Ohio. It's just like a loud like
general
to the room.
Yeah.
And then you're and if I see PCR next to my name, I'm spitting in a cup and then
leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, if someone says anything to me, like, I have to be paying attention because I'm in my head so much. Like, I have to be paying attention. But
I feel that.
Whatever.
I feel that. Well, hopefully on your birth week, you don't gotta be in your head too much.
Thank you.
What's gonna be in your head is gonna be some liquor.
Turn up. I hope so. I'm so excited. We're going to go to Disney Sea for my birthday. So it's going to be a combination trip with me and my friend Alex. And it's both of our birthdays within the same week. So we're going to turn up.
That's
It's really exciting. So anyways, enough life updates, I guess.
For your birthday, we got you the Chupacabra.
I know. I requested the subject. I think that it's kind of going to be our tradition that when it's like someone's birthday, whatever, we're going to do like whatever subject they want that week. And mine's is Chupacabra. Also, shout out to my friend Christiana from the Crispy Chicken podcast Variety Box. I just said that out of order. I am so sorry to that podcast. But
it's a variety.
It's the Variety Box. Listen to their podcast if you haven't already. They're great.
Go for it.
We love Nick Chicken and Crispy of that podcast, and Cristiano was the one that gave us the suggestion to do this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was
nice.
like, gotta do it for them.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, friends of the pod.
Mm-hmm.
We still need to do a collab. What did we say we were gonna call it?
Cheerios. Crispy circles.
Crispy circles. Crispy circles. Yeah, and that's just a Cheerio. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I'm trying to think of some on the spot here.
Yeah.
Crispy chicken.
Variety Box and the
It
word
should be like
crop circles.
CCCCs. Just like a lot.
A lot of C's.
A lot of C's.
Mm-hmm.
C4.
And what we should do is C4.
An explosive podcast collaboration.
Oh my God. It would be wild. But shout out to them because they inspired me to do this. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. But anyways, let's get down to it. What is your identity of the week, Cory?
Okay, identity of the week.
Just what are you today?
I identify as the puppy chow that is sitting before us. Something that we manifested a week ago that like took like it. I feel like last week I was like, man, I haven't done anything. I haven't made anything. And now I am this puppy chow. I've made puppy chow. I did something with my hands, and we are eating the fruits of the labor that I did, and I'm proud of it. I'm happy that we're doing it, and I hope to be able to do stuff like that in the future because I feel like I've been, to be perfectly honest with y'all, I feel like I've been in like a weird like kind of slump, not really like doing stuff. And that doing this like kind of like was okay, I did something. Now let's do something more important. Now let's get like be more productive.
Yeah.
Let's like start doing stuff with our lives and actually getting it together. Well, like I think I put on like a good face that I have it together, but I don't. But to get out of the seriousness, I'm puppy chow.
Because it's the catalyst for getting out of the quote unquote depressive episode. That's great. We love being the catalyst.
How about you? Yeah, what are you identifying as?
I'm identifying as this run over shoe that I saw in Roppongi the other day.
It was
probably like a heel that had it was so flat, like it was a run over. No. And it was just like on the side of the road, and I said, you know what? I felt that. Yeah.
Was it the left or the right?
I think it was the left. I don't remember, but I just understood in that moment. I was like, wow. In this city, I am the run-over shoe that's on the side of the street. But it's okay.
There we go.
I felt that.
I just want to know how that person's walking home. Like
I just want to know how that happened.
They probably look like a car with a flat tire. Just flopping back and forth. I don't know.
But I mean, like, if you're out in the city, and I feel like Tokyo people, New York people, London people, you all know what it's like to have a wild night in the city, and you just end up, like, Shibuya meltdown, just, like, passed out somewhere. And, like, we've seen it before.
Just taking a nap.
Just taking a nap in the road. It happens, and I felt like that might have been
the case.
Yeah, it might have been the case.
That might be a breadcrumb trail.
It's just really hard to lose a shoe. Like a whole like
especially
going out
outside.
shoe.
You step on one little pebble and you're like, I'm down for the count.
Yeah. So I don't know. I felt that, and that's what I'm identifying as this week. What else is there to say? But this week, I am so excited. Like we said, we are covering the Chupacabra, and we are going to dive into some Puerto Rico. We're going to dive into some Mexico. And I'm Mexican. Cory's Puerto Rican, but he likes to call himself Puerto Rican.
It's my mom's name for me. She says I'm a Puerto Rican. Yeah. Because I'm only 25%. I'm just 25%. My grandfather came from Puerto Rico. He 100%. My mom's half. I'm Puerto Rican. That's just how it is.
So, we're celebrating some culture today. Turn up. We love that.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's just get down and dirty. We're going to answer the question, what is a chupacabra? And it's also known as el vampiro de la Moca, and that translates to the vampire of Moca, which is a city, but we'll get into that in a second. In order to explain the name chupacabra, we just got to take it apart. Yeah. And so chupar in Spanish means to suck. Okay. I knew I was going to get some kind of reaction, but hey. Suck blood. Anyways.
Was it specifically like suck blood?
No. Chupar, you could chupar a lollipop, you could chupar things. Don't no. I was thinking of other stuff like a straw.
I'm laughing at more about like what your eyebrow did because you were like
I was just thinking, don't make it weird.
I didn't. I just wanted to see what examples you'd come up with.
Yeah, I'm thinking of them. Anyway, so chupar means to suck. Cabras means goat, and together, add it all up, goat sucker. Yeah, goat sucker. Let's do it.
Gotta get that milk somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Cabra is like a very formal word of saying goat, or
I didn't even know that you
Road
could say
goat?
goat formally.
It's just to me like where I grew up was like Chiva or Chivo is like the name for like goat. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, it could be just like baby goat for Chiva and Chivo, but I'm not really sure. But
Like
anyways,
lamb? Like it would be like the
yeah,
equivalent
yeah,
of lamb.
yeah. But I'm not. I'm like now thinking about it, it just doesn't really
Wait a
make
minute,
sense. To me.
so it's a kid. Was it a goat? Then
Kid.
it's kid, and then sheep, lamb, right? Goats and sheep are not the same. And then
No.
there's rams, but they're kind of like they're in the same umbrella. Am I thinking?
Isn't Ram a car?
Dodge Ram. Do-no-no. I feel like that was. Yeah, it's a car.
That too. But all of that. Yes. I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually not sure now because now I'm doubting myself. But growing up, I knew it as like a chiva. It's like a girl and chivo is boy. But cabra could have been like maybe just another word for it or like what they use in Puerto Rico. I don't know. But I didn't really hear that as much as I did chivo or chiva. So if you all speak Spanish and you're listening, let me know.
Hit us up.
Yeah, what you say. But anyways, yeah, so we got this chupacabra thing called goat sucker, literally translated. And according to Professor Reynaldo L. Roman of the University of Georgia, it seems like the name chupacabra was coined by comedian Silverio Perez. He had a radio show during like that time, and then I think in Spanish it's very common, speaking the language, I know that we combine words and just kind of like that's the new name for it. Like if you literally will have like two adjectives or two whatever and it'll be like that's what it's called now, and it's just kind of common to say that, and it makes a lot of sense that a comedian was just like, here we go, this is what we're going with. So it doesn't surprise me that someone Hispanic would just say that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I had somebody like I was listening to was saying that like they said chupacabra, and then like people were like, yeah, that's what we're gonna call it now. And like some actual people of like scientists and doctors were like, wait, no, we're actually gonna try to call it this. And people were like, nah.
That's
I forget what they were trying to say it was, but it was like a pretty like scientific word for it. They're like, we're gonna try to like kind of make it this here, and they're like, nah. Chupacabra's on a stick. And that's the one that just kind of like won that battle, and how we have that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, I don't know if it's like this in other cultures or I'm just not as aware of it, but definitely like comedians and like television personalities and stuff have a huge say in what is and isn't right in culture, or like what does become a trend. So like just a lot of the times like TV personalities are so big in Latin America that they have so much power to create names like this, and people just go with them because it's kind of like a common thread that like everyone in like a few countries like watches the same show, so kind of like is able to connect people of different countries with the same like kind of themes, if that makes sense. So it's just like a really big power that entertainment has in our community that I've noticed. But this is not the first like kind of situation that happens in, at least as far as I know.
Yeah, I think we're referring back to like the podcasts ago when we talked about like the curse of Colonel Sanders. That was all like basically it blew up from a TV show kind of.
Right, exactly.
Like acknowledging it and kind of making it a thing. So I think the same thing goes hand in hand here. So Japan, Puerto Rico, doesn't really matter. I think entertainment has such a strong hold of like what goes viral, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, and because this is again like kind of around the 90s, I think, or something like that. We'll get into it, but it was a huge part of it. And so basically in the 70s, reports of a creature were kind of coming up that like things were getting quote unquote vampired, like they were just like getting the blood sucked out of them. People were like, that's suspicious, that's weird, I don't know what's going on. But it wasn't until 1995 the cryptid just got its name with specific sightings and like the whole radio show that I just talked about. But yeah, Puerto Rico, man, is where it all kind of just took off.
Yeah, it was crazy because I always had thought like if anything this was a Mexican myth, like kind of like just home and bred. But
yeah, it's actually
crazy. It comes from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Central America, Latin America in general kind of takes responsibility for this, but it is something that I've realized more and more is that a lot of things that I thought are Mexican, like growing up, I've been like, oh wait, actually this is like a part of South America or just Latin America in general. Like I just didn't know, and it just, we all kind of have this like weird, I think it's very unique to our culture that we all speak the same language of so many different countries, that we all just kind of share stuff and we're like, okay, well this is all of ours, so thank you. Like we're all just kind of sharing the same like celebrities and like all this stuff. So I don't know, it is kind of funny to like look it up and be like, oh well that's actually not our countries, but we're just gonna like, we all share it. It's like
yeah, that kind of makes sense because of like just from where it stems from, like where you can get reports from it. So that's kind of cool.
It's like the communities. It's a communal myth. But yeah, there's also like a real life animal that we were doing some research on called a goat sucker, and there's really tiny, tiny birds of the nightjar family. And so way before like the Chupacabra legend and stuff, these like little nocturnal birds were rumored to drain the milk out of goats' udders instead of just eating bugs. Like they just started doing that allegedly, and so they would call them goat suckers. And they were like, these little cute little birds. If you look them up, you can just Google goat sucker bird, and you'll see them. They're really cute.
The caw.
Yeah.
Chupacabra.
Yeah, they're just out there like squaw, squaw. Yeah, squaw. But there was, so like sometimes the name kind of gets mixed up with birds, and like some people thought it was a bird because they had heard of this animal before. But anyways, it's unrelated for the most part.
I'm gonna be honest.
What?
I had grown up as a kid. I had heard of the chupacabra, never knew what it was, never knew what it meant. I assumed it was a snake.
You thought it was a snake? Oh my god.
It sounds like a snake name. Like what, anaconda, chupacabra. Like I feel like they gave me snake vibes. Like it was a big snake.
Well, there it is.
But I never knew what it was until like we actually started. Like, I grew up and I started doing research on it. And now I know. But
yeah, I've been convinced that it was just like a dog. Vampire dog. Like that's kind of like in my head, like if I thought of a chupacabra as a kid, it was just vampire dog. Like there was no other context, like that was it. But we'll get into what people have reported what it is and what it is kind of known as in pop culture. It's kind of one of those things like we talked about with the Kraken, where like it's 1,000,003 things, it's everything, it's nothing, it's your mom, it's the goat, it's an alien, it's literally everything. Like anything can identify as chupacabra, to be honest. But we'll get to the main bits and what people think it is in a second. People have seen this thing as far north as Maine, in Mexico, as far south as Chile, and it's also commonly reported in Texas, which doesn't surprise me because Texas is wild. And there's even been some reports of it attacking in Russia and the Philippines, which is...
That's weird.
Yeah, kind of a lot of places. Like, I'm saying, it's everywhere.
Like Maine? Who's in Maine? Who's in Maine being like, we found chupacabra? They ain't sucking on lobsters. They ain't sucking on crabs. They're trying to suck on goats.
There are goats in Maine?
Are they?
I don't know.
I've never been to Maine.
Me neither.
I'm from the East Coast. I've never been to Maine. That's too far north.
I don't know, but I would go for some clam chowder.
I'd go for some choop.
Yeah, for some choop. Super choop.
Choop soup.
Choop soup. Chupacabra soup. Oh god. Oh no.
Oh no.
Not this.
We're starting again.
I know. Okay. But anyways, that's what the name is. You know, we're just getting down with the etymology. Mm-hmm. Is it etymology? Is that the study of words?
The nameology.
The
science of names.
No, we just had this conversation, I think, Miley, where was it with you? Where I was like, there's etymology and there's entomology, and one of them is the study of bugs and one of them is the study of words, and I don't know which one's which.
Okay. I think I remember. Yeah, so I think I Googled this like 2 months ago.
Yeah, some of us had this conversation at some point because I don't remember. It's one of those. Don't quote me. I'm not a scientist. But anyways, tell me what they look like.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, no, I got you. Let me paint you a masterpiece, a Picasso, of just words that just will paint this picture for you.
Yes, give me the Monet, give me the Rembrandt, give me the postmodern.
Post Malone?
No, don't mention.
He's an artist.
He is an artist of musical talent. Maybe not a visual.
He's got plenty of visuals on him.
Yeah, he does. And he's also allegedly musty, but whatever.
Like smelling?
Yeah.
So was Bigfoot.
Well, okay. I know. Oh my god. New rumor. Post Malone is Bigfoot. Let's start that.
Sasquatch confirmed. We need you to confirm Post Malone is also one of you.
Post Malone is Bigfoot. Let me tweet him. Let me see. Oh my god, no.
So everyone need to retweet. We need to
know if Post Malone is Bigfoot or not, because that would explain a lot. To be honest.
I'm gonna tag him. I'm gonna be like, yo, bro.
Are you Bigfoot? In disguise? Yeah, we'll see. But no, tell me. Give me the picture. Give me.
I got you.
Yeah, okay.
So many descriptions have come out this way. You know, it's kind of like the Bigfoot thing. Speaking of Bigfoot, like he's red, he's black, he's gray, he's white. He's all these colors at once, and it makes one solid color. But it's more of just like, what are the features of this thing? Because so many people have kind of painted it to be a demon, a dog, a bear, a bat.
Literally.
Just like none of those go together.
Also, can I ask, what if someone's like, oh, it's a demon? Like, okay.
We know what that looks like.
What is that? What is that?
That's,
Yeah. It's shaped like woo.
It's scary.
It's shaped like a scream. Like
How is that the most accurate
I don't know.
depiction I've ever heard?
It's shaped like a deep breath. Yeah.
Oh, gasp.
Yeah.
Gasp.
I don't know. Yeah. So like when they're like, oh, it looks like a demon, and I'm like, right?
Yes.
Mm.
More. No, nothing left. I don't need any
that's
more
it.
details there. I know exactly what that
There
looks like.
it is.
But two have kind of taken hold and kind of held on to their depictions that have been pretty, like, people are like, that's a Chupacabra, and also that is a Chupacabra.
Mm-hmm.
Two main depictions. The first one was the original one. The one that we kind of got, that was kind of popped out in, like, 95.
Yeah.
95, when the like, biggest, kind of, the one that kind of made the Chupacabra as big as it is.
Yeah.
This is what the depiction kind of came around like. So, very alien-like. So imagine, like, gray, smooth, like not smooth, but just like gray, like not furry by any means, but like scaly skin, big deep
Snake
black
skin-esque.
eyes, long claws, two fangs, bipedal, spines down like its neck, down its back, all the way through its tail. Sometimes it even had bat wings.
Like, how big is it? And in comparison to the bat wings, did you imagine this thing being 6 foot? Bat wings, but like normal bat size, so it's like these little tiny things. Could you imagine? That would
Unfortunately,
be funny.
it's only ever been described be about 3 feet tall. It's not a very huge thing.
Yeah.
Generally, it's been known to be pretty small. We were reading that Deadpool comic earlier, and he looked pretty big in that. But but others say it was even able to float in the air via psychokinesis.
Okay, how do they know? They're like,
That's what I'm saying.
They see a floating psychokinesis.
I imagine Monsters Inc. when they thought they saw Boo in the sushi restaurant, and it's just like all of everyone's witnesses.
Like, yeah, they're like, oh,
he was shaking me like a doll. He was shooting lights out of his eyes. You know, it's just like all these different things.
Everyone's just making up something.
It flew across the room. Like no. All she did was jump on the tail and go, boo! Yeah. That was it. But so I feel like a lot of this is some exaggeration. Some people just trying to get some screen time on the news. They're like, I saw Billy on the news. He said he saw it fly.
Yeah, literally. That's probably what happened. Psychokinesis is so specific. You see it fly, you're like, that's not wings. That's actually psychokinesis. And everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, are you? Yeah, like, how do you?
You're a witch.
You're a wizard.
But the second one is a bit more, it's later on, and it's kind of trumped this kind of alien look. The thing that we like to as cryptozoologists.
Cryptozoologists.
Cryptozoologists. That's the word I keep seeing. I tried being cool there for a second, make my own word.
Yes, we have our job is cryptozoologists.
Cryptozoologists. But basically, the newfangled way of describing these creatures is like very dog-like, still about 2 to 3 feet tall, still with that like gray, scaly kind of hide, and very slender body. But this one, like I said, it's dog-like, so it's on all fours.
I guess you could say it's a skinny legend.
It's got no hair, like I said. It's gray, bluish gray, like almost imagine like a blue. Like when people say blue for like a cat or a dog, like they've got blue fur. Yeah. That's the kind of blue we're talking about. Or that gray. It's got red eyes and super sharp teeth. Really, really long too.
Vampire teeth.
Many eyewitnesses report that like a strong, unpleasant sulfur type smell came from the creature, which is kind of weird because I mean we got those like with Bigfoot there was a smell that came along with him too.
But like that's the forest. You're gonna smell if you live in the forest. I feel like there's no plumbing.
This one lives in Puerto Rico, and it smells like sulfur.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh, also, speaking of sulfur, there, you know how they said it was like, oh, it's a demon, and if there's a sulfur-like smell in a lot of like paranormal stories, I don't know if you guys know this, but like if you smell sulfur and you have like that like going on in and out of your house, that means that
Identity?
Like, no, not the identity. Like the thing that's coming out, like the ghost or whatever that you're seeing, is a demonic entity. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. So like it's like an evil entity. Like it doesn't have good intentions, and so like the smell is coming from like the depths of hell or what have you. You know, like maybe not like a biblical hell, but like it's just coming from a not a good place. So that smell is very common when people have like these really bad spirits like lurking around, a very strong bad spirit.
Scary.
Yeah, so then when they say this, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of adding a layer that I didn't expect, I guess.
No, I just went to Hakone, sorry. Yeah. Hakone, and got the black eggs, which is apparently like with the iron in the was it sulfur, right?
Yeah, so
sulfur,
it's
like kind of like hot
cook them
springs.
in the volcano.
Yeah, and so it's like I was eating that. That was apparently after eating that black egg that had been chilling with the sulfur. Was I meant to add like 7 years? So did I just take those 7 years from the devil? Did the demons?
Maybe.
Did the demons just give me all those?
It's a demon egg.
All the onis? I mean, it was black.
Yeah.
It tastes like a normal egg though.
Yeah, it doesn't. The egg doesn't even smell like sulfur. It's like when you get to the like in Hakone,
it just smells like eggs.
It just literally
everywhere.
Smells like egg fart like the entire way there.
I got off the cable car and I like had just chugged like a tall boy chew high. And I was just
that's like our version of Four Loko, if you don't know what a Chuhai is.
And it was like maybe an 8-minute cable car ride from one station to the next. So I chugged that thing like as fast as I could, and I got up there and I was sitting there giggling like a little girl because I was a little tipsy just because I had nothing on my stomach. I was chugging that thing and I was like, "It's not eggs." And my Dakota was like, "What?" And my friend Miyuki was like,
"Yeah." Smell like egg, and you're like thinking it's the best thing ever. Plot twist: there's actually so many demons up there. Could you imagine?
Scary.
So scary.
Scary.
Oh my god.
But basically, then that sulfur smell came along with these creatures. But other reports said there was no smell at all. Mm-hmm. It's thought to be vampiric. So y'all know vampires, right? So.
Love a good vampire.
It's making even more sense. The Deadpool comic's making more sense. Sorry, we'll talk about that later. But it's a vampiric entity that basically bites people in the neck, or not people in this case, goats in the
neck.
Dogs, chickens, chickets,
cows,
cats, other animals, and it just bites them in the neck, sucks them dry of all their blood, and leaves them there bloodless, apparently. Like no blood everywhere. Like normally like in a killing, there's like blood splattered or somewhere. There's at least a little bit like messy. Pooled on like the bottom, like you know they're in like a little puddle. Apparently, there's no blood to be explained or to be seen at any of these sightings, which is kind of scary.
It is kind of
scary if something vampiric. It means it lives on the blood too. Like that's its diet. The diet.
That's how we say a skinny legend.
Skinny legend.
Exactly.
But basically, some of the activity that we've been seeing from the Chupacabra, there have been some reports in Arizona, Oregon, Michigan, Illinois, New Jersey, New Mexico, Florida, and some parts of Chile, Brazil, and Mexico. But the majority of them happened in Puerto Rico. And it basically started in 1975. El Vampiro de Mocha. And not mocha as in like your chocolate flavored coffee.
Nope.
It's going to be that little town that we talked about earlier, Mocha. Where there were various livestock killings, and some thought it was this satanic cult, satanic cult, which I didn't even know satanic cults existed in Puerto Rico. I mean, I guess it could have existed anywhere,
right?
But it's interesting that goats are involved, and like satanic cults are being brought up because goats are very reminiscent of like demons and things.
The Baphomet and things like that. Yeah.
But basically, where everything kind of took its peak and started really taking wind was in 1995 in Puerto Rico, where it had a rash of attacks all over Puerto Rico. Was it Canovanas? Alone, there was several hundred livestock and pet fatalities where they had attributed to the Chupacabra alone. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, there was a lot. I think at one point it was like over 200 deaths or something. It was wild. Like, it was just people were reporting dogs and goats and chickens just being alive one day, and then by the next morning they were just dead. And Yeah, it was a little crazy.
Some of the times some of the reports I had seen wasn't just like 2 bite marks in the neck, because sometimes it was that. It was just like the bite in the neck and they'd suck the blood dry, of course. But the other ones, it was like they would rip out the throats.
Yeah, like it was gashes.
Like full-on gashes, still no blood, but like full-on just like would suck, rip out the trachea and chuck it across the room, and then it'd just be like a big gash in the neck, which has got to be even more terrifying to see, you know?
Yeah, and so like we keep harping, 1995, big year for the Chupacabra, you know?
1 year before me.
Yeah, and it was just there, chilling, and in August of 95 is when the most important Chupacabra sighting happened. So according to the Texas Observer article, in August, panic was just building and building and building as animals kept being reported dead or missing. And a woman named Madeline Tolentino reported a bizarre sighting outside her mother's house in Canovanas. She said that a long-limbed, earless creature with a spiny back appeared in the yard. And she said that huge eyes were staring through the window at her. She screamed, and then the thing just up and left, booked it towards the jungle. And, you know, that she said that was what she saw was a Chupacabra that was just wreaking havoc on the entire Puerto Rico. And in the wake of this account, she had like a sketch artist, and they produced this thing with researcher Jorge Martin that was like this bipedal, shiny, red-eyed creature that she had allegedly seen. And they had attributed with like other people's sightings that this was in fact the thing that was constant in all of these attacks, or at least people who had seen it. And there were over 200 accounts in Puerto Rico alone of just like different things coming up during this time period of, like we said, chickens and stuff going missing.
Not the chickens.
Yeah, the chickens. And
no, Jorge Martin, he was, what I find is funny, he's like, not funny, but just like interesting. He's a
Random.
local UFO researcher.
Yeah.
He's like, just like happened to be like, hey, you have like, do you have a local UFO researcher?
I'm sure there is a local UFO chapter we could reach out to.
They'd be like, hey, yo, can you just do a sketch for us? We think we've seen
an alien.
Can you sketch this up? And they're like, yes.
Yes.
I am your local UFO researcher. I'm your representative of your UFO.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to him. He's probably just like us into the cryptozoology.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it was just craziness. And this is what caused the most famous kind of alien-esque portrait of the Chupacabra. Yeah. And I'll try to include a picture on the Instagram so you guys can see it. But this sketch is the one that kind of just took off during this time period. And it really made this thing go viral over television. It was what people were talking about on the radio. It was just blowing up. And, you know, when things go viral, like things just start coming up and people start talking about it and like giving it its own rumors and its own life. And some asserted that it was an escaped US genetics experiment or an alien collecting blood to spread AIDS, which sounds ridiculous, but we'll get into some of the reasoning behind that in a couple minutes here. And then obviously as it continues to go viral and more people are hearing about it, and this account kind of spreads to the US, the form just started to take like its own life, as cryptids do, you know?
Always.
And that's when the rest of the kind of like spine, or like the little details of this drawing kind of took off. So like the spines on its back changed, or like it changed into a dog, or it changed into like a demon that people were saying. Like it kind of took that life of its own at this time. And yeah, within a few years, this Chupacabra had transformed into a full-blown global phenomenon, which was kind of crazy. And so people thought that this was a really, really, like, reputable sighting. I mean, like, it was the first time where, like, teams of people were on it. And, like I said, you know, everybody was talking about it. And it was just being reported on like it was real news. And, I mean, obviously, animals going missing and showing up dead is kind of newsworthy, especially for farming cultures. Like, animals are really expensive and they do a lot for you. And people really gave this sighting a lot of reputability.
Credibility. Especially because it was so recent, I think. Because it's 1995. Like, this wasn't too long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
It's literally, like, what, 26 years ago? Mm-hmm. So it's different from, like, the Bigfoot, who has been, like, around since the beginning of time.
Right.
Or the Kraken that has been around for...
centuries.
Since, like, Norse mythology, you know?
Yeah.
This is something we can almost relate to today. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just, you know, it was also, I think, one of the first cryptids to kind of go viral in the sense that we had the technology for it to do so. You know, like we were more globalized and with television and all that. So that kind of like helped. However, even though this was the most credible sighting, in 2011, Benjamin Radford was documenting this book called Tracking the Chupacabra, trying to like get answers for this. You know, he's out here trying to either put this thing to rest or confirm its existence, and that's very common with a lot of these legends. And he actually concluded the description given by the original eyewitness in Puerto Rico, again, her name's Madeline Tolentino, was kind of actually based off of a creature from the sci-fi movie Species, because it came out in the same year, and she actually had just seen it recently. And yeah, so according to Live Science, this is a quote, "The creature," Radford noticed, shared a strong resemblance to the alien-human hybrid in the 1995 sci-fi thriller Species. When he spoke to Tolentino, he asked her if the thing that she saw could have been inspired by the film. And she said that she had seen the movie in the weeks prior to her making the description, end quote. Which could be just chalked up to a word that we brought up last week, pareidolia, which is when you just kind of apply things in your mind to a sighting. So if she had seen like this coyote with mange or something just trying to like, you know, get by, and she scared it, she could have easily in the dark just kind of been like, oh shit, it's an alien. Like, dang.
Yeah, it could have been anything at that point. Like the fact that she was just like, oh, the Chupacabra seems to be relevant. That's something that's plaguing my place of origin now. I'll just say it's that, and then people have to listen, you know?
Yeah.
And have you ever seen that movie?
No, I haven't actually.
No. Like I said, I only really came across a handful of years ago. I came across it, and from all I remember, it's about like this sex-crazed alien human hybrid thing.
That's not funny, because I would assume that there's a lot of R word in it. 'Cause I wouldn't assume the alien was.
Interestingly, it's a woman, like a woman alien, and she's doing it to like dudes. So like
still R wording.
Yeah. It's like it's very, very. I mean, I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember seeing alien tibbies, and I was like, that's a little weird, and I flipped it off. Because
you were like, okay.
I'm like, they're in a pool wrestling. That's
a
weird.
lot.
Why? Oh, she changed. She doesn't look the same anymore. It was very, very weird. But I mean, I obviously haven't watched it all the way through as an adult, so I don't really know. I can't say if it was a good film or not. But if it looked anything like that, the Chupacabra, then I'd be like, I'd be pretty scared, because that was a really freaky image. It's a freaky looking alien.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God, I'm so scared of aliens, but.
Here we are.
That's a story for another time.
Making crop circles.
Yeah, it's an ironic reality that I live in. But yeah, oh my God, that's so wild. I think that was like kind of one of the most disappointing things, because I was like, oh my God, yeah, so true, bestie. Like, tell us more. We finally discovered what's been killing all the animals. And then it's like, dang, like that's.
Yeah, she comes out here and be like, nah, I was lying.
Well, I mean, she was just like, yeah, I saw it, but like irrelevant. And we're like, how do you mean irrelevant? Like. Yeah, anyways, so tell me more about the sightings outside of Puerto Rico, though, because that's kind of like what was going on in 95.
There's a lot. So 95 happened, and then a year later, in 1996, sightings started to pick up around Mexico. Like, a lot of them. And it started to throw Mexico into a frenzy. So there was several just different accounts all over the country. And just even a few years after the original sighting, after all of those sightings in Mexico as well, there's a vampire with goat's blood on the menu basically became a global phenomenon. It just started blowing up in the United States and in Chile and in Spain, Mexico, Brazil, Portugal even. Like
Portugal's in here.
Yeah, how's Portugal? How's Portugal even in there? How did
like halfway across
Spain?
The world?
That's what I'm saying. Like Spain and Portugal. I mean, Portugal and Brazil kind of have like that Portuguese language that they share, right?
Yeah.
Along with like its relation to Spain being just that close. They share a border, I believe. And so then
I feel like Spain got a hold of it because they speak Spanish, and then Portugal just ran with it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And so then after it started just spreading like wildfire, this cryptid of the night, there just began to have like TV and internet fame. Basically, just it was getting a lot of coverage on news channels and movies and all the different various just mediums that it could make its way on. Not that was its goal, but we had the technology, like you said, for it to actually spread this quickly. There was even a sighting as recent as 2019, where there's a video sighting of it in Houston, reported on ABC7.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of it, especially because it's so like you said, within the realm of like the new digital era, a lot of people had cameras in their hands now, whereas before, if you had cryptids and stuff, like with Bigfoot, you had these grainy like videos, you know, and just was not working out.
No, but now like
and now like people by this time kind of had technology in their hands to be able to record it, and there are so many videos of alleged chupacabras on YouTube. Like if you go on there, you could literally just type in chupacabra sighting and just see a million of them. But to be honest, all the video ones are all like the dog-esque looking
they're all
things,
the dog versions. I was watching one where it was like in a cage, like a woman and her husband had found one, allegedly had it in a cage, and they were like feeding it just so like it wouldn't die. The news channel came like to their front yard and like had plenty of video footage of this thing in a cage, but genuinely it just looked like one of the possible explanations that we can get to right now.
Exactly.
Ash, what do you think people have actually been mistaking for a chupacabra?
Well, the most renowned explanation by science is saying that these are just coyotes or dogs with severe cases of mange. And like I said before, all the videos on YouTube very much look like coyotes or dogs, really. Like, it just, to me, is kind of, like, obviously, I want to believe in, like, the cryptid and stuff, but it's like, dude, these videos are literally, like, straight up looks like a bald coyote. Like, I'm like...
Or even just, like, what was that dog breed that you were talking about?
Oh,
earlier?
a Choloscuincle,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
like it's an ancient dog breed. It's Aztec in origin, but a Choloscuincle is literally just a hairless dog. And you know how like there are hairless cats and hairless dogs, and they have like kind of patchy hair sometimes. They have like that very thin kind of like bald-esque hair. I don't know how to explain it.
Like almost like the wiener dog, like the red wiener dog kind of hair, like when you like a cartoon.
It's like coarse.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
really
yeah.
it's giving blonde hair. No, it's just like it's like kind of patchy. So sometimes if they're like on the hairier side for a bald dog, they can kind of look like they're patchy and like do you know what I mean? Yeah, like it's not like bad, it's just like they're just a little
they're not the most attractive dogs out there. You don't see them
chunky
out there
looking.
like winning any sort of dog shows or anything.
but they're really common in certain areas of Mexico because there are ancient breeds there. And so I think that a lot of the sightings, especially in the recent videos, look like just Choloscuincles, like those little doggies.
And for an easy visual for like the listener, what do you think though, like the most recent like kind of pop culture reference to a Choloscuincle that you would say is like what would you say?
The dog from Coco.
Dog from Coco.
What's his name? Dante.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Choloscuincle. So like that kind of dog is like, I mean, he's kind of derpy and like that's kind of very realistic. As
that's
to
all the
what...
chupacabras out there. They all look like that, tongue out.
Yeah, it's like bleh, you know. But yeah, very that. So a lot of scientists are just like, dude, like y'all just seeing dogs with mange, like calm down. And mange is, I don't know if you guys know what mange is, but it's just a skin disease caused by mites, and two kinds can affect dogs: demodectic and sarcoptic.
Yeah,
I'm not a
one's like
scientist.
one's rare and one's a little bit like
one of them's really contagious, and the other and they just like get itchy and like have scabs and hair loss and stuff, and they kind of go a little manic. Infections on humans are possible, but like the lifespan of a mite on a human is short-lived, so it's not really
they can't even like can't go full term essentially with the mange on a human.
Yeah, and it just makes them like kind of crazy looking and kind of like, I mean, obviously, like, a lot of sick animals will act out of character because, like, they are so sick and itchy and stuff.
Yeah, hurting, man.
Yeah, so a lot of people think that because when coyotes or wild dogs are sick, they'll go to places where there are humans because it's easier to find food there. Yeah. And so that could easily be, like, you know, the trail that we're following here. And if sometimes, I don't know if your guys' dogs ever do this, but you know when dogs go bipedal, some of them can, like, are really good at it.
Yeah,
especially wild dogs, they can like stand on their hind legs to like reach stuff that they can't. So like imagine like a dog with mange is hungry, trying to reach the chickens like over a fence, and he just goes bipedal.
Yep.
Like, I feel like you could kind of see how that is like exactly a chupacabra sighting, you know?
Exactly.
So I don't know. Another explanation that is way less renowned is just aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah, I mean, it's always aliens. Like every time we got a Bigfoot, every time we have a cryptid like Bigfoot or like literally anything else, they're like, guess what? It's an alien. It's always aliens.
Aliens.
It's like, yeah, aliens. But the origins of the chupacabra are just always up for debate. But some people believe that it's literally just straight up an alien, like very closely related to aliens known as greys, reportedly with like large oval heads, big eyes, and all that stuff there. But that theory doesn't end just with appearance. Some people speculate that this alien animal thing is just a crossbreed created by scientists at NASA. You know? And allegedly one of the creatures escaped, and then we got chupacabras in the wild.
Didn't NASA just make a big deal? They just made a big deal with somebody about with SpaceX. SpaceX and NASA just made a big deal, like, to do some bit, like, to like start heading back to space, I think, or land on the moon. I forget. I saw it on Twitter somewhere. I would have to look back up. But, you know, NASA's breeding people. Yeah. They're breeding
allegedly
things.
They're breeding.
They're making chups.
Yeah, they're making alien animal crossbreeds now. One veterinarian in South America actually believes that the chupacabra is a genetically modified vampire bat. So they took a vampire bat and said, we're going to play with this. And then it just got away, which is so, like, sci-fi and, like, kind of, it just seems so, like, out there, you know? But if that's what they believe, like, who's to say? I've never seen a chupacabra.
Amongst my studies, I did see some of my some people saying that they would breed dogs, crossbreed them as much as they could to make the dog look as much like a chupacabra as they could, so then they could at that point claim that it was a chupacabra.
That's so wild.
How mean is that?
That's so rude. That's
like, and then at that point, like, what happens to the dog?
Right.
You know, and like, what kind of like torture? I guess I'm not. I guess not torture, but like. You crossbred it so much, we don't know what's going on inside anymore. What things, ailments can like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem with a lot of modern dogs as well, as like the crossbreeds have like so many genetic issues, and it's at what point do you like not mess with it, because that's kind of, it's literally like killing them in the end and all that stuff. So it's
exactly.
Crossbreeding is also a whole nother cup of tea. But as we touched on earlier, some people say that the chupacabra is an alien collecting blood to spread HIV and AIDS. It sounds just so crazy, but if you look at the context of Puerto Rico, it's not necessarily that. I mean, it is for the chupacabra to be considered this. However, like, Puerto Rico has been through a lot as far as medicine goes. During this time, especially women in Puerto Rico, were used as test subjects for American experimental medicines and vaccines, one of which was being birth control. And because of, like, in many countries that have been forced into poverty or forced into these situations with the U.S., they were just kind of given a lot of medications without their consent or without full knowledge of consent. So they didn't really know exactly what they were getting into. And birth control was one of those things that created infertility, it created miscarriages, it created susceptibility to disease, and like just so many different things within women's reproductive health that it caused kind of like this era of frenzy, I guess, and like mystery and just downright like traumatic experiences for a lot of women there, as far as their sexual health went. And it wasn't necessarily like no one really knew what was going on. Like things just were going wrong so quickly, and like collectively that women were kind of banding together being like, oh, like you've been through this, what's going on? And then once they realized that they were kind of test subjects of birth control and to a further extent eugenics, it was just like a difficult time. And so with this kind of time period of crossover, you got like this grasp at straws explanation as to what was going on, because I think it was really difficult for them to see the reality of these things when like the people that you trust the most, like doctors from America, were lying to them and stuff, essentially. So it was just a big mess that kind of created this stretch of a reference, but it is something with a very dark history that I think not a lot of people know about.
Would you say it was the doctors themselves saying that was the chupacabras, or do you think it was the like the women having these experiences? Do you think that was them being like, hey, I think the chupacabra did this?
I think that it was just like a general like community thing. Like I think a lot of people saw the suffering that just ended up happening kind of around the same time, and because it was like, oh, like this is killing animals, maybe it's affecting humans as well. And
like it's a blood transmitted disease.
Yeah, exactly.
These are the creature that's apparently sucking blood out of things, spreading the blood to spread the disease. Yeah.
And so I think it was an easy thing for it to just kind of become attached to that.
It had a loose attachment, but it was still enough to like be considered a thing. Yeah,
and so that's kind of, I think, a little deep dive into like the history of Puerto Rico. But yeah, it's really sad once you kind of look at, because at first you're like, an alien is here to spread AIDS, what is going on? But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Not so.
Yeah, but that is a little heavy. We should, freshen up. Yeah. Take a little break.
Go head over to some pop culture stuff. I'll go pull up my notes now.
Yeah, all right. We'll see you guys in a second.
Bye. welcome back.
Welcome back. I missed you.
Yeah, it took so long.
Took so long.
To get back to you.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I tell you all about it when I see you.
Karaoke.
It's always
time
karaoke.
with Ash.
Isn't that like from Fast and Furious?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not seeing one single Fast and Furious movie.
You have not been cultured.
I mean, I know the Tokyo Drift song, and every time I try to sing it out here, no one knows what I'm talking about.
I wonder if they know. In Tokyo. If you see me, then you need me, then you know you have to go Fast and Furious. Literally, there always has to be a karaoke part of the podcast, so you know, here we are.
I sing that to the captains, and they were like, "What song is that?" And I'm like, "What? It's your song."
We're in Tokyo. That is so. Oh my god, that's like borderline. Like, excuse me.
I mean, like, what song do you think? Like, if you're in America, what song do you feel like I have to know if I'm American?
Well, as far as California, Hotel California. There you go. Like, if you're California,
if you're California,
you have to know
yeah.
Hotel California. But I think everybody knows that song.
The one song that they do know out here, which cracks me up because they sing it and it kills me every time, is "Country Road, Take Me." Were you there when they were singing it? It's so funny listening to them because they're so into it, and it's just,
oh my god,
it's just like, if they know the words on top of the accent, it just makes my day so bright.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, I love it.
10 out of 10.
I love it.
But we're here. We're back with pop culture references because I know that that's the most exciting part, I think, about this podcast. At least for me.
That's why we're here. That's why we're doing it, really.
Pop culture.
Yeah, popcorn culture. Okay, so let me talk to you. Let me bring you guys into this pop culture realm, okay?
All right, Chupacabra's out here making appearances, guest starizations.
Not only has he been sucking on goats, sucking on throats, sucking on the goats' throats, he's been out here being in movies, songs, TV shows, and notably one TV show that came out when you and I believe were like getting into high school, maybe late middle school.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a very iconic TV show.
Oh yeah, I remember watching the first episode of Phineas and Ferb when it dropped on. Was it Disney? Was it Disney XD yet?
I think it was Disney XD. I'm not sure.
But
good old P&F.
Oh yeah, Phineas and Ferb never let us down.
No.
Never once.
No.
And I think it was Swimmer.
So Swinter.
Swinter, was it Swinter?
It's Swinter.
Well, they had both.
Wonderland time talking about Swinter. Yeah. Bum, bum.
Basically, we know how catchy those songs are. There's a song in Phineas and Ferb where there was an episode that had this song called Chupacabra Ho, where they go flying around a mechanical fly ship
looks like
in the air, holding Buford, the town bully?
Yeah.
That wasn't really a...
He was like their frenemy.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what he was. I think there was a whole song on that alone. Mm-hmm. But Buford was dressed up as a goat, attached to a rope to the bottom of this ship that looked like a fly. Mm-hmm. And they were flying around the desert, hunting down the Chupacabra. And he was like, getting hunted down. And they were looking for this Chupacabra. Is how they say it in the song.
Oh my god, yeah. It's
so... Empire! Yeah. It's Baljeet coming in with that high note.
Oh, it's so good. But honestly, Phineas and Ferb, we have talked about, and we'll continue to talk about. Honestly, the writing for that show is really good.
What's insane is that, they've dove into the cryptids.
And it's actually explicitly mentioned. They're describing the thing, and in the episode they describe it more like a dog, and they really went off with the Chupacabra song. So if you guys haven't heard it, go listen to it. Add it to your playlist.
Boom.
Do it after the podcast, though. Oh, yeah. Don't be skipping.
Yeah, no, that's rude.
Yeah.
Basically, that's all that was there for Phineas and Ferb. Mm-hmm. But another one we keep mentioning, another one we keep talking about, because they have maybe tackled every single cryptid that we have talked about on this show.
Yeah.
And I think we'll continue. We'll find it very difficult. I would love to look for a cryptid that's well known that they haven't mentioned. Yeah. Hotel Transylvania, specifically the third one, the third squeakquel. There was a minor character called the Chupacabra. He was nicely dressed in a nice little black mariachi-esque suit, bow tie, mustachio.
And then
he orders a drink.
Yeah.
And inside the glass is a goat. That's all you see. That's it.
He's a little goat.
That's not, he got a little goat. in his glass. And that was his drink.
That's so cute. It kind of reminds me of like when you go to like those. Have you seen like when people go to certain like bars or whatever, they hand them like a blue drink, and then it like there's like a little shark, but the shark is actually like a shot. And then, like, when they turn the shark upside down, it's, like, a red, like, grenadine-based shot. So it looks like there's blood in the water when you turn the shark over into the drink.
I know exactly what drink you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've never seen that at a bar, though.
It's so cute. Yeah, there's a few bars in California that do it. I think I just saw it on a friend's story when they went and ordered it. It's really cute. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. It's like a Jaws shot or something. Like
yeah.
Like a Jaws drink.
Yeah, I think they called it like a shark attack or something. I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah. I feel like Tipsy Bartender might have like done something like that.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Tipsy Bartender,
if you don't already watch his videos, because I know I find him on Facebook all the time.
Man. He's like literally the star of Facebook. Like if you have a Facebook and you don't know Tipsy Bartender, you don't have a Facebook. Like he might as well replace Zuckerberg as like the face of Facebook.
I'm gonna tag him on Twitter. I'm gonna say it.
Tipsy Bartender, he's literally always watching.
King of Facebook.
Yeah, King of Facebook.
But he actually made a Chupacabra drink.
Yeah.
Which is pretty simple. You basically take a glass of Red Bull and you take 2 shots, one of Jaeger and one of tequila, and you kind of like balance them in the middle. Like you kind of put both of the bottoms of the shot glasses into the cup. And then to drink it, you just take them out.
Yeah.
And pour them in and drink it. Yeah. I can't imagine it tastes very good.
No, I mean, like, it just sounds like a Jaeger bomb with tequila added, right?
Yeah.
Is that not what it is?
I think so. I don't know. Jaeger bomb is that Red Bull Jaeger?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
It sounds like a tequila Red Bull with a shot of Jaeger in it.
Well, that's what it is. I'm not a bartender, okay? But that's
I don't know. But basically, that's the drink that he has provided to us. And
yeah.
I'm gonna have to try it. I'm gonna have to get some Jaeger.
Sounds like a wild time. Jaeger, tequila, and Red Bull. Woo.
Normally, when we started this show, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a drink for every single like recording of this. I would have had this drink had I not decided to work out after this.
Right.
So maybe afterwards, I'll tell you how it is. But I also found another cocktail called El Chupacabra, and it's 1 ounce Blanco tequila, 1 ounce Pimm's, which is a like English gin-based fruit cup is what it said online. 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, which is super easy to make if you don't know already how to do it. 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, 2 slices of cucumber, and 1/4 of an ounce of Cynar, an Italian bitters that is of the Amaro variety. And then you just add a splash of soda water, and that just sounds a lot too complicated. I'm just gonna go with the Tipsy Bartender version, and we're just gonna keep that where
what's
it's
up
at.
with this one? It's like tequila, and then this like English gin thing, and then like Cynar, which is Italian. Like, what's going on? I mean, it's probably good, but for people like us who are just down to get a drink, like just.
We're going to drink this on your birthday. We're going to drink this on your birthday. I will get Jaeger and we will drink this on your birthday.
This sounds so dangerous. Oh my God. You're really going to be on demon time if you drink the tequila, Jaeger, and Red Bull.
Man, smelling like sulfur and everything.
Oh God. Disgusting.
Now, we're going to skip over the cocktails. And now that we've had a little bit to drink, we're going to go to Disney Plus and watch something fun, you know?
Yes, Disney Plus.
The Last of the Chupacabras, which is a short that they made this summer, I believe.
It's a short film, actually.
A short film, yeah. And they got it over on Disney Plus. It's about a little old lady. She's selling her tamales on the side of the road. People throwing money at her. And then she goes home. She has like these mobiles hanging from her ceiling, and she's got like little puppets and stuff. And then all of a sudden, a rainy night comes along, and she opens up her door, and she sees a little chupacabra on her footstep.
Yeah,
and she invites it in, and they just kind of hang out. There's a little old lady and a chupacabra. It's like kind of cute. Kind of looks like Stitch a little bit.
Yeah, it's like alebrije style. So if you guys have watched Coco and you've seen like the Pepita style of like the decorative, except for this one's not glow in the dark. It's more like, I don't know, alebrijes are just like those artisanal pieces of art that's just like very spotted and like has like those colorful decorative markings on them.
Yeah, it's very, very cute.
It's so cute.
I would recommend watching it.
Yeah. Love it.
Very, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and very recent too. So if you guys don't know anything about Chupacabras, I'm sure most of you nerds listening have Disney Plus. So definitely go ahead and watch it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Especially if you need your cute fix, you know. Sometimes we watch things that get sad. Sometimes we watch things to laugh a little bit. This one will definitely touch your heart a little bit.
Yeah.
Next we have one that is very close to my heart. If anybody out there knows, I love to play Pokemon games. I was streaming on Twitch some Pokemon earlier today. And I even have a day dedicated to playing Pokemon ROM hacks. For those who don't know what a Pokemon ROM hack is, it's basically someone takes the original game, messes with the code, adds their own stuff into it, and makes a whole entirely different game. This specific ROM hack is called Pokemon Uranium, and it's pretty highly rated. I haven't played it myself yet, but there are 2 Pokemon, one that evolves into another one, and it's based off of the Chupacabra, and it is a poison type that evolves into a poison fighting type, and then there's a nuclear version of that, which I don't even know how to unpack yet, so we'll get to that later on, maybe on my stream later sometime in the future. But the 2 Pokemon's names are Chupacho and Luchabra, and they're pretty cool looking. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, the Chupacho is the one that's most closely Chupacabra looking.
Yeah, I'd say so. And then he evolves into like this pretty bland, just I don't even know how to describe it. Basically Zarude before Zarude. So if anybody knows Zarude from Pokemon, he just looks like a buffer Zarude that's like tan and purple. Yeah. Just a big monkey looking thing.
Yeah, but they're there. I mean, they're not official Pokemon because it's like a fan-made game, but I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cool reference, you know?
It was a fun layer. I liked it. I'm gonna have to see if I can play this game and see how good it is.
I am like the queen of deep dives, I think. Like, I feel like I'm always going on, like, let me find like the most obscure thing.
I'm down for it. It made me happy.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know about this. Because I've never played that before, so.
Thank you. I'm so glad
I appreciate that. I appreciate you looking out for me, girl.
Yeah, I gotta represent the nerd community.
I got one more for you here. Dexter's Laboratory. A classic. DD. You know.
Yeah, our friends Alex and Ryan, they dressed up as Dee Dee and Dexter for Halloween.
They did. They look so good.
Yeah, if you guys go on my Instagram on my Halloween post, you will scroll. I think it's the second photo on the carousel.
Oh,
they were Dee Dee and Dexter. It was really good.
Yeah,
Ryan and drag. Oh, so good.
But basically, there's an entire episode dedicated to Dexter and Dee Dee looking for Dexter's experiment. He basically has a little reptilian monster that he named Charlie to scare off Dee Dee, and they end up running to South America to go try to catch this thing, and it's a whole episode dedicated to them just looking for the Chupacabra. That's what they end up calling it, and it ends up scaring the natives. And very dated episode, but it's definitely a funny watch.
There were some choices that they made, like the sombrero UFO, which
the flying sombrero.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, but it was there. It's funny. It's wild that it was like literally an entire episode of them going to South America to find it.
I don't even know when the episode premiered, but it was definitely back in the day. So if you're into your older cartoons, that's definitely one to watch. Look out for Charlie the Chupacabra. Ash, do you have any more for me for the popcorn culture?
Yes. I think one of the best findings that we've had was the 2013, get this, Sears commercial. Woo! Like, oh my God, this is so, to me, like, this is so recent. It's so wild. But basically, Sears was advertising, like, their curbside pickup. And, like, the dad, so it's like a family of 4, you know, your basic commercial white families, like the dad, the mom, the brother, and the sister. And they were in the garage and the dad was like, look, I got a machine to immediately deliver the things that we ordered from Sears. And it's just like a laser machine. I don't know. And he's like, bam, like toolbox, bam, fridge. And then like on the third click, just randomly for like whatever reason, transports like a goat and a Chupacabra. And it's probably like the best rendition of Chupacabra that we've seen in like modern.
Out of any of the references we've seen, it's or like any of the movies, any of the CGI, anything, it's so good. Yeah, and it's just like there with the goat, and it just starts like roaring at the family, and then the dad's like, who ordered the Chupacabra? And the brother's like, my sister. And she's like, dude, it's literally like on your shirt. And he looks down, he's like, you're right. And like they're just like running around the garage trying to run away from this Chupacabra suddenly. It's so legit.
And it's so funny. And it's like, who came up with this concept? They could have zapped anything into this. Like they could have made it a series, and like, I don't know. I enjoyed it, and I think Miley found this one. It's great. I was crying when I saw it, because whoever was on Sears' PR team for this,
well done.
Round of applause to
You're
them.
being talked about here in 2021.
It's great. 10 out of 10. We love that commercial. It was wild. Another reference for all you Harry Potter fans out there, and I'm talking about Harry Potter sans Rowling, because we all know that it was actually Beyonce who wrote Harry Potter. But anyways, Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald in 2018. Actually, Grindelwald had a pet chupacabra and his name was Antonio, and he helped him escape from the Ministry Aurors. And it's so funky looking. It's also really small, isn't it? Like, it's like so tiny. And it's like part lizard, part like small human. It's a blood-sucking magical beast native to the Americas, like according to the lore in the movie. And they even made a Funko Pop of him, and Miley said it was really cute. I think it's just like funky looking. It's
a Funko Pop. It's gonna look funky.
Yeah, I don't like Funko Pops. Like, I'm so sorry to the Funko Pop community. Like, I think they're so horrible.
You're forgiven.
I know that you collect them back home. I know that Christiana, who gave me this idea for the podcast, collects them religiously. I think they're so horrible, but you know, I'm not gonna knock you for it, because I also have a collection of frogs that
Hey, there you go.
It's also horrible. So
I mean, I will say the Funko Pop does kind of look like Elsa's little lizard thing that she's got in the second movie.
Bruno, is his name Bruno?
Bruno, I don't know. This little fire lizard.
Bruni. Bruno's the dog from Cinderella. Bruni, yeah. So he's just kind of funky looking. So if you haven't seen The Crimes of Grindelwald, he's in it.
Yup.
And then for all you ultra nerds out there, not even just the normal nerds, the ultra nerds, Magic the Gathering.
Yup.
They introduced 2 Chupacabra to the game as beast horrors in the Ixalan block. It's set in a plane based off of Mesoamerican history and mythology, and they are called the Lurking Chupacabra and the Ravenous Chupacabra. So if you guys play Magic the Gathering, you can involve your favorite friend in the game. Why not?
I'll build a deck around it. I got you.
Do it. And then, of course, for Stranger Things. In an advertisement for Stranger Things Latin America, the kids encounter a Mexican UFOologist named Jamie Maussan, who is looking for evidence of the Chupacabra. And it's implied that he's actually just tracking the Demogorgon instead on accident. But that's kind of funny. It's just like a little Easter egg there.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's kind of like them inserting the narrative of Stranger Things into our real life lore, which I think is really cool. Love when they do that.
Love it.
Yeah. And then I have Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico, 2003. Who doesn't love a Scooby-Doo movie? I've dressed up as Daphne. I mean, I'm sure we all have had.
I've dressed up as Daphne.
You did?
No.
Oh.
I couldn't fit the go-go boots.
Oh, that sucks. Cap's too strong.
I feel like sometimes, I feel like I'm more of a Shaggy, but I've heard Fred vibes is sometimes. Didn't you say I gave Fred vibes the other day?
Yeah, well, you were basically wearing an ascot.
When? What? When?
You were giving you had like the pants, and like all you needed was like.
I was wearing pants.
Oh, you were wearing. Yes, you were wearing like the blue pants that you have, and like the brown shoes, and like
I was wearing brown
V-neck
boots,
sweater, whatever.
Was that? I was wearing a V-neck sweater.
Yeah.
If I just added the ascot, maybe then
you would give Fred vibes. I don't know.
Fred,
I really feel
would
like
just be Fred incarnate with brown hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember there was a TV movie of the Scooby-Doo gang, and
there's so many.
Fred had black hair.
Really?
There was an explanation for why his hair was black. I never ended up watching the film. I never really cared to, because I was like, I ain't Fred. But it was very, very interesting. I remember being very confused as a child.
I need to look into more of Scooby-Doo lore, because I feel like it's just so constant. And I know like the topical things about it, obviously like Scooby-Doo live action, obviously like, the hits. But I really need to like get down and dirty with like all of the Scooby-Doo history, because it's actually something that I'm not very well versed in. But I'm actually more well versed in Ninja Turtles than I am in Scooby-Doo, which is kind of ironic. But anyways, so Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico, again, 2003. Scooby and the gang investigate a monster that's terrorizing Veracruz while visiting Fred's pen pal. His name is Alejo Otero. And the Chupacabra is portrayed like just not like we've been talking about. They portray it more like Bigfoot, which, here we go again with Bigfoot. Here we go again with the Bigfoot. I'm glad we kind of did these back to back, so we kind of know, we have some context.
Amen.
Yeah, and the monster is actually revealed to be the museum guide, Charlene in a suit, who's trying to scare the Oteros, the Fred's pen pals, off the land. But yeah, it's just, I think Chupacabra is just mentioned in name because just the origin of the creature is Aztec, and the design is similar to Bigfoot or the Aztec Nahual, which is just like another piece of lore from the ancient days. But it's there. Call it a Chupacabra, so that's cool. Isn't that wild?
That's wild.
That's wild.
That's buck wild.
Scooby-Doo, where are you?
Now, Ashley, can I tell you there's more pop culture about this?
There is more pop culture.
There's so much. This thing's got, coverage everywhere. I hope he's been getting some, royalties or something, right?
I know. He's just out here being the star of the show.
Now, let me tell you, like, there's 2 movies that had
Jesus.
CGI versions of the Chupacabra added that were far worse than the Sears commercial. The Sears, like, what I'm saying, the Sears commercial was the best rendition we've seen on the silver screen in general. It was so much better quality than either of these films.
Yes.
And it's I think they just need mentioning because they'll probably be the biggest versions of what we'll be seeing here today about the Chupacabra. There was one called Chupacabra, Dark Seas. And that one was about a doctor who finds El Chupacabra on a remote island and decided to bring it on a cruise ship.
This is just so wild.
Then the crew members get curious. They let it out of the cage, and then all hell breaks loose. So there's the movie. No wonder it's Dark Seas. It's Chupacabra been brought up on a freaking cruise ship. You can't enjoy your drink and swim in the pool and go to the ship's off-Broadway performance while there's a Chupacabra going around wreaking havoc on everyone.
No, you can't. You can't enjoy anything.
It's gonna smack Goofy off and push him off the side of the ship, and it's gonna be over. It's gonna be gone.
Literally.
But there's another movie called Chupacabra versus the Alamo.
Which, like, what?
I don't know if the building like ended up turning into some sort of robotic thing and started fighting, because I don't think the Alamo could fight back. But from what I read a synopsis of, basically a group decides to go investigate some killings that happened to be by the Chupacabra. They get attacked by the Chupacabra themselves, and then their final stand against the Chupacabra is in the Alamo.
Yeah.
Again,
they blow up a historical monument.
Oh, yeah. They end up blowing the Alamo up to end up ridding the world of these creatures. And they call them Diablo at one point. So, just straight up, the devil.
We love a good independent movie. I mean, I feel like last week the independent movies were all so off the walls random. Ugh.
And you guys found this one, the Two Gringos Chupacabra. Which was a Texas-based company that manufactures meat rubs and seasonings, which I feel like I should grab. If I made you some birthday steak, would you eat it if I had some of this rub?
I would theoretically eat it if
yes,
I could eat it.
You can't do meats.
Yeah.
Can I put meat rub on?
I think you could just slap it on a salmon. I feel like that'd be fine.
On a salmon?
Just slap it on. Or, like, actually the most similar thing to meats is, like, actually to chicken is swordfish. You could literally, like, season a swordfish almost like chicken, and it would just take the same.
Interesting. Well, it says it has seasonings as well, so maybe there's seasonings I can put on some other things. Like, it doesn't have to be on meat.
Yeah. But I would eat it if, in my head.
In my head. Think about how
like,
good
I'd be like, delicious. I would just, like, I would telepathically eat it. Yeah, I don't know. I can't even pinpoint it. Like, allergic to meat, intolerant to meat. I don't know. My body just doesn't like it. Like, my body just does not fare well with it, and I just cut it all out of my diet. So I'm pescatarian now, and I've been pescatarian for almost 3 years.
Congratulations! So. I mean, hey, you said farewell to the chicken and the meat. So
yeah, I mean, like, kind of against my will, but like I've had a few days where I'm like, what if I just like, I don't know, recently I've just woken up and been like, I'm gonna just eat a chicken nugget. Like, I'm just gonna go insane and just eat it. I'm just gonna eat the chicken nugget, or like a chicken wing, or just even just pizza with like meat toppings on it. I'm just gonna do it. But I'm so scared of what might happen to my body, so I'm just like, you know what, it's not worth it. It's not worth what could happen.
I feel like you're that kind of person that would be like, you would order the pizza, it'd get to your door, you'd open up the box, and then you'd be like, nah.
Yeah, no, I've gotten really close. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it, and then I'm like, nope,
and then you pick it off, and then you eat.
Yeah, literally. So it's just been like the story of my life for the past few years, but I am too scared. I'm super like emetophobic. I think like the fear of throwing up is like too big for me to like, it doesn't like the enjoying the food is not enough for me to like face that fear. So
I feel that.
Yeah.
Well, basically the dog, the small dog with fangs is a logo for this seasoning company, for the meats that you will not have, and maybe the seasonings that can go on top of everything else that you can.
I can help you cook it though.
Ooh,
I'm good at that.
You are very good at cooking. I do like your cooking a lot.
Thank you. I try. But yeah, I would love to see what kind of meat rubs and seasonings they have.
Oh yeah. Let's rub them meats.
Rub the meats.
Let's rub the meats. Let's go.
Gotta get
rub
it
the
out
meats
there.
and the big feets.
Yep.
So basically there were a ton of restaurants as well that were found. Tons of Mexican restaurants called El Chupacabra.
Right.
All across the United States. A whole bunch of them. I've never eaten at one, but if you have, tell me if it was good, because I've got no idea.
They're out there though.
They're out there.
Just type into Google Chupacabra and then restaurant, I'm sure you'll find one.
And the reference that I feel like I've mentioned this like several times throughout the podcast. We can finally give you an explanation on it. Deadpool. At one point has to fight a Chupacabra for a goat. Basically, an owner that had goats that he was breeding. He had bred a goat and named it Bella, and Edward the Chupacabra stole the goat and ran away with it, fell in love with the goat, and said it was a love that could go across multiple... Was it transcend...
Species?
It's something. It was like transcend time itself or something. It was very, very cheesy, but... Miley at one point brought up like Edward, Bella, that's funny, and I was
Where
like,
the hell have you been,
that's
Loca?
That's a Twilight reference. That's really funny. And I was like, wait, it's vampiric. It's a vampiric creature. Like it's vampires. It's a vampires. It's Twilight just in Deadpool universe, and Deadpool's in there like he's listening to all this like love jargon that this Chupacabra's spewing out, and he's just like, oh, I think I'm gonna puke in my mask, and he's just having a whole big fun. But he ends up killing the Chupacabra. So bye-bye, Edward. He saves Bella to end up having Bella be turned into goat tacos in the end by the owner as a
reward.
For saving his prized goats that he ended up making to make his prize-winning dish, the goat tacos. I've never had a goat taco.
I have.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Was it goat cheese as well?
Oh, that's actually... No, I don't think so. It's because, birria. I have the birria tacos. Everyone's been like... I think it's kind of like a trend now. Like, in like TikTok, I've seen it all over the place. But birria is like a Mexican dish, I think. Either way, I grew up having it, and birria is very commonly made with goat.
I don't even know what it is.
It's
I never heard of it.
It's a very brothy like meat stew situation, and then you put it in tacos and you like fry or cook the tacos like all together. It's super crispy, and then you get like the really fatty like stew. I think it's called like consommé. And you dip the tacos into the broth while you're eating them, and it's...
I think I remember. Yeah. I've seen that.
Super greasy looking. They just super like wet looking. I don't know how to explain it, but
just
they're like
wet taco.
Yeah, amazing, so good. But in Mexico, it is very common for them to be made out of goat meat.
Interesting.
Because it's very like it just has like a specific texture that does well in it. My mom is freaked out by that, and she just doesn't like when they have like birria de chivo, as it's called. Like she just doesn't like it, because it's a little gamey, like very slightly gamey. Like taste to it, so she's like kind of freaked out by that, but it's just in that cooking style like really good apparently. Like everyone loves it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah,
I've never had goat.
Yeah.
I've had whale, but I haven't had goat. You know, across the street they sell whale.
Yeah.
Whale sushi. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's illegal back home.
No, yeah, they also like if you go to Yokohama, shark fin is like everywhere, like left and right. Oh, we went. Remember we were there?
I have no desire to eat a shark fin.
Isn't that like also like highly controversial? Like
yes.
like
because there's no reason. There's no reason other than the fact to do it. So you kill the shark just to eat the fin, and then there you go.
So it's just there, and like here it's like not illegal. So they just everyone Chinatown, Yokohama, they have that. So
I might just try it while I can, kind of thing. Just be like, eh. Also like fugu.
Oh, fugu, yeah.
Fugu's scary, though.
I don't think it is. It's been done for so long. Fugu, if you guys don't know, is the poisonous pufferfish that you have to go to like a specific sushi restaurant where they're trained to like cut out the poison sac, because if they like slice it in any way, boom, poison everywhere. So you would like die if you ate it. But it's very rare for like it to go wrong, because it's like down to a like science with the sushi chefs. So. Definitely want to visit like one of those like super high end like Michelin star restaurants where they like cut it like all. Ooh, that'd be wild.
From what I'm told, it doesn't even taste good.
I don't know. It's about the risk, the fear factor, if you will. Like it's
the
just
only thing that you're paying for. You're paying for the fact that like, ooh, I might die, and then you paid like $30, and then you did die, and then you're like, okay,
woo,
fine, I win or lose. I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know. It's great. It's all about the thrill, the risk of it all. It's almost like Russian roulette, but with sushi.
So crazy. But that's pretty much all we got for the Chupacabra on pop culture. I'm sure there's plenty more out there, and if you have any more that you guys stumbled across that we did not mention today, please send it our way. We would love to learn more about what Chupacabra's been doing in pop culture today.
Yeah, I mean, I think we found a lot of the main ones. There were a few that we hadn't mentioned. There's a couple like anime references as well, but it's all out there. It's all good, and hopefully y'all don't see any chupacabras.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do if you want to. I don't know.
I mean, actually, they don't hurt people.
Which is
not one
funny.
attack has ever been against a person.
Yeah, it's just like goats and chickens and dogs. That's so strange.
So it's kind of surprising that we're so scared of them when it's just like
everyone's losing their minds.
No, losing their minds. It's not even like it doesn't even harm humans. It's never been seen
exactly.
to do so.
We didn't even touch on that, but definitely, I think a lot of cryptids are like that as well. Like they just kind of are there vibing and doing things to other species, but not humans. Yeah. Kind of convenient, if you ask me. But whatever.
I'm okay with it. I mean, as long as I'm be like, yo, what's up?
Exactly.
You don't hit me, I'll hit you. Cool.
Right. I mean, I'd like to see that. Cory versus Chupacabra.
Cory versus Chupacabra.
It's the next feature-length film.
Just a 3-foot tall dog. I just kick it. That's animal abuse. Animal abuse.
Oh my god. So you wouldn't fight it?
I mean, I don't know if I had to for like my life. I would. But I just thought of this.
What?
You know animal cookies?
Yeah.
Cryptid cookies. Do they exist?
Oh my god. I don't know,
but
that's such a good idea. Like just having a bag of like, what's this? And it's like the picture of like the Bigfoot looking back or like a kraken. Oh my god, that'd be so good.
Do you know the cookies we have out here that say like bird?
Oh my god, yes! The ones that are labeled bat.
It's just
cow.
What is it like chupacabra? Like when it runs out of room because it's too long a word.
No, oh my god, literally like those cookies. I'll have to try to remember to put it in the Instagram. But yeah, we have like cookies that are literally just say like, I don't know, bear. And it's like the shape of a bear. And it's like printed on there. But then sometimes you'll get one that's like so specific. It'll be like mongoose. And you're like, what the fuck?
Porcupine.
Yeah, like it's just like they have some like really oddly specific animals. And then they also have like chicken, cow, and dog.
You're just your standards.
Yeah, the normal ones.
If they have cryptid cookies out there,
oh my god,
I would probably freak out.
I know, we need it. I imagine they would do best, like, do you remember, I don't know, this is kind of a deep dive. Those, like, shortbread sweet cookies that were, like, Dora, and it was, like, Dora's face, Boots' face.
Yeah.
Like, they're kind of, like, graham style.
Yeah.
Those
like Teddy Grahams almost?
Almost, yeah, and they were, like, stamped. They're kind of big.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
They were, like, this large. I imagine that those cookies would be the best for this project. Also, nobody steal it. This is all trademarked. Copyrighted.
We've claimed
all rights reserved. Yeah, but it's, oh my god, that would be so good. I would love that.
They're like there's like cryptid cookie cutters.
No, but we need like just like a generic,
just like a box.
Yeah,
you know, like I want like one in like little train car thing with a string.
Your Barnum cookies.
Yeah, I want something like that.
Exactly, and you just put like a Mothman. You could put, I don't know, literally any mythical creature there. That'd be really cool.
Or they handle like board games.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but we'll have to go on the Etsy. I think that's probably the best place to find out.
I've seen like cookie cutters on Etsy right now. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We're gonna workshop it. We'll put it into the budget that we don't have. Our budget of $1.
I was gonna put those for the AirPods that I don't have.
Oh man.
At least one, so I can put them in one ear.
So you have to single ear AirPods. Oh god. But that's been it, guys. Here we are wrapping up our Chupacabra episodes, but whether it be coyotes with mange or a true vampire-like alien stalking in the night, this legend is enough for many people to keep an extra eye out at night. So just be careful when you're walking outside. As a human, hopefully full of blood, you never know what you might run into or what may find you. Doo-doo-doo. That's it. That's all I got. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Stay safe out there.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us. You can find me at CFAL22 on all my socials. You can find Ash over at
Ash Cassie, ASHCASI, and you can find Crop Circles Podcast at Crop Circles Pod on all platforms. And this podcast was made possible by no one other than our producer Miley at Miley.Campagna. It's all in the show notes, though. Shout out to her. The show would not be possible without her. It's great.
Truth, like she's
so like the backbone of the podcast, and me and Cory are like the flailing limbs.
Yeah, no, I'll be the legs, you be the arms.
Yeah, and we're all flailing at it in a different direction. And Miley's just there editing on time. It just happened
to get a snapshot of us in the Sasquatch pose.
Literally. But yeah, shout out to her. We've had a wild week here.
But
yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.
Bye.